Hi, I'm Keith with Solution Self Chem. This is an instructional video on how to do your own pest control indoor and outdoor of your home. Before we get started, there's a couple of things that you need to do. One, you need to purchase a pump-up sprayer. Two, you need to make sure that you have a good pair of chemical-resistant gloves and make sure that you're wearing some sort of long-sleeve shirt and long pants. Some cases, for instance, when you're spraying outside around eaves or something like that, you might also want to even wear protective eyewear as well. So we've decided to use nitrile gloves. Nitrile gloves can be purchased from Solution Self Chem. We also decided to use a poly pump-up sprayer. The particular sprayer that we're using has an adjustable nozzle tip on it. If you screw the nozzle tip clockwise, it will actually give you a cone fan spray pattern. If you screw the nozzle counterclockwise, it will give you a pin stream, which will allow you to reach further distances. Depending on the application that you're going to make will certainly depend on the type of setting that you want to set your nozzle at. So now we're ready to mix our product. Please refer to the label for directions on how to mix. Oftentimes the directions will differ from indoor and outdoor. The two most common bottles that you can purchase pesticides in are a squeeze measure bottle or a tip and measure bottle. The tip and measure bottle is very user friendly, and you just tip it over and it has a self-contained area that you measure your product in, and then you pour that out into your sprayer. The squeeze measure bottle, all you do is squeeze the bottle, it runs up a straw and fills into a small little reservoir on the side of the bottle. Open up the cap, pour that into your sprayer. Both are very user friendly and very easy to use. So we have removed the pump assembly off of the sprayer. We're going to put a half a gallon of water into the sprayer, and we're going to mix up our concentrate and put the proper amount of product into the sprayer. We're going to put our pump assembly back onto the canister, screw it on tight, and just give it a light shake, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. We're going to take the pump assembly back off the sprayer and add the remaining half gallon of water to the canister. Put your pump assembly back on, screw it down tight, and at this point you need to make a decision on the type of spray pattern that you want. Are we going to use a cone fan type spray pattern, or are we going to use a pin stream? Once you've determined that, then at that point you're going to push down on the handle, turn it to the left a quarter turn, and start pumping the sprayer until it's tight. Once it's tight, push down on the handle, turn it to the right a quarter turn, locks it in place, and now you're ready to begin your application. Before we begin our application, there's three things to consider. One, make sure we keep people and pets out of the treated area until the product is dried. Two, refer to your label again. Some labels will allow you to do certain things while others will not. So it's always a good idea prior to application to refer back to that label. Three, do a walk around the perimeter of the structure. Make sure that you pick up any loose vegetation, or if there's vegetation that's actually up against the structure, let's make sure that we clear that back. These are perfect areas that are very conducive to insect infestations, and we want to make sure that when we apply our product, we're able to apply it in the area where insects can actually make contact with it. We're going to begin over here at the garage area. Down at the base is a common area for insects to enter the structure. So we're going to make sure that we lay down a chemical barrier at that point. Moving around to our front door, we're also going to lay down a chemical barrier around the threshold. This is also a very common place for insects to enter. Windows. Insects will enter through cracks and crevices around the window frame. So we want to make sure that we spray the entire window frame. Moving to the perimeter of the house. This particular house is a brick veneer, and it's got weep holes down at the bottom. This is a real common place for insects to enter. So we want to make sure that we spray that area thoroughly well. Also, where pipes may enter through the sidewall, oftentimes there are cracks between the veneer and the pipe itself, which is an area where insects can enter the structure. Moving to the perimeter of the house, most labels will allow you to spray up 2 feet on the structure and out 2 feet away from the structure. This area will provide a large surface area of a chemical barrier that will prevent many insects from entering the structure. Moving on to the inside. Most insects enter the structure from the outside, so we need to make sure that we pay close attention to any voids, cracks, threshold of the doors, all of these entry points. But before we get started, make sure you refer back to that label again. Oftentimes, labels will give you different mixing rates for interior versus exterior. If you have product left over from the exterior treatment, just dispose of that product according to label directions and remix. Now moving to the inside, we're going to go up underneath the kitchen cabinets. This is an area where your plumbing actually goes through the wall, through the sheetrock. Oftentimes there's a void between the sheetrock edge and the plumbing. This is an area where insects can enter into the home. So we want to make sure that we treat that area. Make sure also that you treat voids, cracks and crevices in kitchen cabinets and bathroom cabinets. Particularly with roaches, they like to nest up inside voids and cracks. And so it's very important that we put some sort of a chemical barrier in those areas. Also, your exterior doors. If you'll spray the threshold of your exterior doors, oftentimes that's a place where they can enter. And that will create a chemical barrier there, which will give us a protection. Hey, doing your own pest control is as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, identify the insect. 2, choose your equipment. 3, pick your product. 4, application technique. It's as simple as that. For more information or tips, contact us at 800-479-6583. I'm Keith with Solution Self Chem. Ask us how, then do it yourself.